Thank you.
Timu mbili zinakuja za kimataifa ikiwa Gabon na Harambee Stars Kenya.
Mbona anapigwa?
Apigwe kabisa mjinga huyo.
Bunge, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BAV. This is Bunge Audio Visual, the place where we break down the biggest stories and spark the conversations that matter. So I'm your host, Buffet, and today we're diving into a heated moment that unfolded at Nyayo Stadium just a few minutes ago during the much anticipated FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifier between Harambee Stars and Gabon. So you've seen in the video, there is a Mumias East Member of Parliament, Peter Salasya, found himself at a center of controversy as he was forcefully removed from the stadium by a group of Raila Odinga supporters. But what really happened before Salasya was escorted with such kind of force outside the stadium, and why did this happen, and who was behind it, and what does it mean for the political landscape in this beautiful country of ours called Kenya? So let me give you a breakdown of what actually happened, then give the reason as to why maybe Salasya would have faced it, was able to face it rough in today's event, and also the bigger picture on freedom of speech and political intimidation. So we begin. What really happened before Salasya was thrown outside the stadium? So here's the scoop. In the middle of the electrifying atmosphere at Nyayo Stadium, chaos were able to erupt when Member of Parliament Peter Salasya was confronted by a group of youths who accused him of disrespecting the Orange Democratic Movement leader, that is Raila Odinga, popularly known as Baba, as you all know. So you all know the leader of opposition, that is Raila Odinga, has been in Peter Salasya's mind in the recent past, and I think there are quite a number of video clips that were circulating online and about Salasya commenting with very badly about the kind of bogus or rather insensitive moves that Raila Odinga is making at the moment. And in video clips circulating online, we've seen that Salasya is being aggressively confronted with some of individuals demanding answers as to why he continues to speak against Raila's recent political moves, especially with his handshake with President William Ruto. And the situation actually escalated quickly, forcing police officers to step in and escort Salasya out of the stadium for his own safety. So mwana hapo kuna wase wamekuwa wanajaribu kusaidia Peter Salasya au makarao, the police officers. They were actually trying to shield him so that at least angekuwa able kufanya nini, kufanywa mob justice, because when youths actually get out of control, you know what's actually going to happen is something that nobody really would like to witness, because you've seen the recent protests in 2024 June. Zilikuwa mbaya sana. They actually went out of hand, and the results were some kind of, sort of devastating news. So some actually after the video was shared in various social media platforms. Some people are actually calling those aggressors paid goons, arguing that it's wrong to attack a leader who claims to be speaking for the people. And while some felt that those who are actually paid goons, others believe that Salasya's growing criticism of Raila's alliance with Ruto is the one that actually made him to be a target for intimidation. You know, this is politics, and so many things usually happen. And that's those are just some of the speculation that might have that came from people, because they said Salasya, the reason as to why he was actually chased at the stadium is because he was talking ill about Baba, and so many people are not able to continue tolerating that kind of those kinds of statements, or those kind of filthy opinions from Salasya's mouth, and so they had to teach him a lesson. So let's talk about the political fallout and why Salasya. Because Peter Salasya has been very vocal about his disapproval of Raila Odinga's recent political decisions, and ever since Raila agreed to work with President Ruto and signed the MOU, that is the Memorandum of Understanding, together with their respective Secretary Generals, that is Eugene Sifuna of ODM and Nini of UDA. I'm forgetting the name of this guy, but sorry. So Salasya has taken a firm stand against the move, gaining popularity as an independent thinker within the Kenyan politics. And this incident at Nyayo Stadium raises key political questions. So, number one was this an organic reaction from Raila supporters, or was it an orchestrated move to silence a dissenting voice? And another question that people are able to ask is this a sign of deepening cracks within the ODM and its supporters? And some people also able to ask, will this affect Salasya's political standing and influence moving forward? Because Salasya was part of the Azimio Brigade back in the 2022 elections. Remember, Salasya is an MP that actually belongs to the DAP party, that is actually headed by Eugene Omala, the former CS defense. And let's also talk about the bigger picture of political intimidation and freedom of speech, as I had said earlier. So you've seen this event actually highlights a much deeper issue, that is political intolerance in Kenya. And if leaders are attacked for expressing their views, so what does this say about democracy, or rather mean about democracy? Because number one, we've got the freedom of speech, where by some people are able to ask, shouldn't leaders be also allowed to voice their opinions without the fear of physical intimidation? Leaders like Salasya, not just any other leader, but leaders like Salasya, which many seem to look at him as a very, very honest figure. Then let's talk about also political loyalty versus individual thought. And about this, people are asking, does disagreeing with a political leader automatically makes one an enemy? Because Raila Odinga is a very, very prime political leader in this particular country, and most of the people believe that trying to battle to wage war against a bigger political figure like Raila Odinga, who many believe to be having so much intelligence of this country, is actually hitting a nail on your coffin. And what I would like to also refer to is that it might be something we call trying to prepare a recipe for disaster. And about the role of the supporters in this country is that we also need to ask ourselves that, are we encouraging a dangerous culture where differing political opinions are met with with hostility instead of debate? So I don't know what we can say about this incident, but it's a very, very unfortunate state of affairs. Because how come somebody that many love, or rather somebody that is very, very popular on the social media and on the ground, face such kind of hostility in a very, very public place, in a very, very anticipated event, like the one that we witnessed today in Nyayo Stadium, that is Kenya versus Gabon? How does such a thing happen to somebody like Peter Salasya, which many people are actually gravitating towards? So for me, I'll simply say that for the youths, that's a very, very that's the biggest. They really exuded the highest level of betrayal to their fellow youths. And what happened at Nyayo Stadium is more than just a political scuffle, because it's a reflection of Kenya's evolving political landscapes. Whether you support Salasya or not, one thing is very, very clear: we need to allow room for different opinions without resorting to violence, because at the end of the day, violence never solves problems unless you want to get into a state of anarchy, which I think won't be very good for us. You've seen the things that have, you've seen the kind of uh, the kind of situation or the scenario that is actually going on in Congo. You've seen the kind of life that people are living in Somalia. You've seen the kind of life that people are living in Sudan. You've seen the kind of life that civilians are living in the Ukraine. I mean, the Ukraine war that started back in 2022. So there is something not to joke about, because if you mess with the best, my friend, I can assure you one thing: they are just going to die like the rest. And I'm not here to incite any form of hate or any form of violence, because I'd really like to hear from you guys. Was this actually a justified activity, or was it a step that was too far? Let's discuss in the comment section below, or on my social media platforms, my other social media platform that is a Bunge podcast. And I would like to also thank you guys for subscribing to my channel, and tuning in to BAV, that is Bunge Audio Visual. And keep on getting more updates. Keep on commenting on whatever things that you have in mind. Keep on sharing your thoughts. Keep on giving your opinions. Keep on giving your sentiments. And don't forget to share, and stay tuned and stay informed. Until next time, let's keep the conversation going on. Adios, muchachos.